Hello and welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time here on the GSMC Sports Network. Talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, and it seems like I'm having... Hold on, let's shift over here. There we go. And then bam. All right. Then that worked out pretty well. So, guys, we have a great show for you today, all lined up. We have our AEW Dynamite review. We have our TNA, Impact, Ring of Honor, Honor Club preview. We're also going to talk about some AEW Full Gear. And we're also going to talk about some WWE Speed. The women are, we have a new tournament to determine the number one contender. And then we have the CMLL, also the, Deathlock Professional Wrestling, who all had, premium live events over the weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Actually, on Monday, it was Mexican, Mexico's Revolution, which was obviously, that's awesome. Congratulations. And for who else, celebrating that, that's awesome. You definitely got to respect that. 110%. All right, before we get into any of that, I just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember the Superman punch, that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. Of course, if you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears, 1,010%. Always remember that here at the GSMC Sports Network. We want you guys to know if you got something that, you've been dying to get off your chest here at the GSMC Sports Network. We are all ears. We just want to make sure you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix, 1,010%. So don't be shy, drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on air, why not use that super chat? Just go ahead and click that $ right next to that chat box. Anything you put inside that box is going to be guaranteed to be featured, talked about, maybe even debated about. If it's that juicy on air, we're going to talk about it. Also, it's a great way to, support the channel. It's a great way to support the GSMC Sports Network. Your super chats obviously helps us keep the lights on all these amazing podcasts with all these passionate podcasters who have one goal in mind, to make sure that you guys, consume a healthy amount of sports content that you guys love so dang much. Obviously, sometimes enough is never enough. I'm just kidding. Moving on. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily at the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And let's get this party started. And if you're not down with the GSMC super chat, then you can go ahead and hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember the Superman punch, that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable, wrestling. There's criticisms, there's a lot of back and forth banter, and by all means, that's all good too. So I just want to, encourage you guys to, but get with the program and talk about, talking some chats. All right, so let's talk about some AEW Dynamite review. Overall, I feel like the episode was it was a success. I give it out of 10, I give it a 7.5 and 8. Obviously, we are at the go home show before AEW Dynamite. Well, before AEW Full Gear happening on Saturday. So, you had a lot of feuds kind of being established, kind of cemented, kind of, grooming the fans up to, just another amazing pay-per-view. Because that's something about AEW that I honestly love 1,010%, is their ability to kind of, in terms of premium live events, they kill it. They kill it 1,010%. In terms of them going head to head with WWE, I kind of reiterated over and over and over in this podcast, is can't really go head to head with WWE. They've been around for so long. There's no such thing as we have the Tuesday Night Wars. These guys want to put each other out of business. If you're a wrestling promotion nowadays, and if you're trying to put the other wrestling promotion out of business, you're kind of crap out of luck there. It's not going to happen under this new day and age of digital, media, where you can stream on YouTube, on X, Instagram, basically anywhere who's going to have you. And a lot of television channels are looking to kind of fill up, those time slots, like the CW did in terms of NXT when they dropped the National Wrestling Alliance. So there's time. There's exposure. There is a lot of, there's a lot of opportunities for wrestlers to kind of get their name out there more than it was, obviously, opposed to 5, 10, maybe even 15 years ago. But at a point where it was hard. It was absolutely, It was cutthroat, a very cutthroat industry if you're a professional wrestler. So let's talk about some AEW Dynamite. First and foremost, we had that amazing 4-on-4 star-studded match. We had Ricochet teaming up with Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Ospreay, and also Mark Davis taking on Don Callis family, Kyle Fletcher, Brian Cage, Konosuke Takeshita, the AEW International Champion, and Lance Archer. I like this match. I thought this match was overall, it was great. I felt like it should have been won by the Don Callis family, and it was. Takeshita, once again picks up another victory, gets that under his belt because for quite some time before his, implementation of the Don Callis family, he was just, kind of looming around AEW, New Japan Professional Wrestling, Ring of Honor. Never really had, a set dominant run where he can kind of be feared. I like that AEW. Tony Khan right now is kind of making people think that Konosuke Takeshita is, he's a player. He's going to be a participant. He's going to be a competitor through New Japan Professional Wrestling and also AEW for years to come. So it was right that he won this match. Obviously, Kyle Fletcher as well, heading toward his match with Will Ospreay. Come on paper, Will Ospreay taking on Kyle Fletcher. You kind of pick Will Ospreay 9 times out of 10. And the fact that he won this match, just any form of momentum or any kind of facade you can put on to be like, maybe Kyle Fletcher actually has a chance. So people could actually watch the match and be like actually interested, because if he didn't pick up this match tonight, if he lost, I got to be honest, it was like, okay, Will Ospreay's going to take on Kyle Fletcher, and he's probably going to win. So, I like that, Fletcher was also building up some momentum tonight as well. Kris Statlander taking on Hikaru Shida. Before the match started, we had a promo with Adam Cole. We had Kyle O'Reilly coming out, the former member of the Undisputed Era, also the Undisputed Kingdom, coming out, and he wanted Adam Cole to overall kind of end his pursuit of MJF, which is right. It's the right thing to do at this time. I personally feel like Kyle Fletcher, maybe he's kind of hinting at, Adam, I love you so damn much. You're a brother to me. We grew up in this wrestling, entertainment business. If you go out there and try to fight MJF, and if there's somehow, you get in trouble, I'm gonna have to go out there and I'm gonna have to try to protect you. I'm gonna have to put my name on the line to defend you because I care about you that much. That's why I feel like Kyle Fletcher ultimately kind of been like, dude, you got to lay off MJF. I think, overall, Adam Cole can hold himself up against MJF, with the Undisputed Kingdom. But with Roderick Strong getting hurt, Mac Taven and Mike Bennett, I don't think Kyle Fletcher could really let that, he can't really let it go. So that's the reason why he's kind of like, I don't want to insert myself into this, because Adam, if you get your ass kicked, or if you find yourself at the, in a pool of your blood at the end of AEW Full Gear, I'm gonna have to step in, and I don't want to. I like where I'm at with the conglomeration with Orange Cassidy, Tomohiro Ishii, the former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Mark Briscoe. It gets to the point where you're kind of like, I don't really want to step in anymore. This is between you and him. I don't want you to drag any of my friends like Roderick, Mike, and Matt into your guys' feud. So, obviously, what Kyle O'Reilly has to say is, I kind of like the angle that he's kind of pushing on here, because it kind of leaves fans and wrestling fans to kind of have that backdoor possibility that maybe you can see you can see a reunited Undisputed Kingdom or an Undisputed Era from WWE NXT with Kyle Fletcher coming in, kind of being that missing guy that they've kind of been missing ever since, this whole thing with Adam Cole started to go down. Even before his injury, I got to be honest, they needed one more guy, and Kyle Fletcher, they were trying to get him to join. Obviously, with the Undisputed Kingdom turning babyface, maybe kind of sways Kyle O'Reilly's vote quite, just a little bit. But, I don't know. Overall, I feel like it's a nice spot. All right, next we have, first and foremost, we had Kris Statlander defeating Hikaru Shida. Statlander looked absolutely impressive. I love the momentum she's having heading toward her match with Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship at AEW Full Gear. I can't wait to see that. It's going to be one of the best matches. For me, we'll get into it, in our third segment where we talk about AEW Full Gear. Bobby Lashley defeats in a smash match Joe Keys and the world famous Cheeseburger. First and foremost, I gotta be honest, God, smash matches, some parts in professional wrestling, they work. They work for that newcomer, that powerhouse that's trying to establish his name. But Bobby Lashley is already an established name in the world of not just AEW, not just WWE, TNA, all over the wrestling circuit. Why does he need a smash match to prove his worth in professional wrestling, or to kind of sway his momentum and his power toward his match with Swerve Strickland? I felt like the match was pointless. I felt like it was horrible. I felt like it was badly booked. And the only kind of highlight of it was, Swerve Strickland at the end, coming in to attack Bobby Lashley, which, kind of adds a little bit more fuel to the fire. Because before Bobby Lashley, his push, his first ever match in AEW wasn't really tonight. Come on, guys, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. His first real match in AEW wasn't tonight, and that's the thing. That's what happened with Shelton Benjamin as well, where he took on Lio Rush. I'm kind of like, dude, put these guys against actual competitors. Like, why are you putting them into smash spot? Like, I don't really understand the logic behind Tony Khan's decision to do that for Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley should have been, seen taking out a former TNT champion. Should have been seen taking out a former AEW World Heavyweight. This match ultimately kind of sets the stage for how Bobby Lashley will be perceived in AEW, and the fact that you kind of have him in a smash match, for me, obviously, my opinion, 1,010%, I didn't really like it. I thought it was garbage. I didn't like it. I definitely liked how Swerve Strickland is definitely over with the crowd right now, with the AEW universe. Is Swerve Strickland going to be able to take down Bobby Lashley in his first real match in AEW? Maybe, perhaps, but probably not. They want the Hurt Syndicate to be absolutely impressive. You've seen it with MVP, you've seen it with Shelton Benjamin, now with Bobby Lashley, but they still need one more guy. The Hurt Syndicate has always had 4 people. 2 guys to win the AEW World Tag Team titles and 1 guy to win the big prize. So, maybe we could see Lio Rush kind of. I don't think Swerve Strickland's going to lose without a fight, first and foremost. Second of all, I think Bobby Lashley's definitely going to have to find his way to kind of be that heel. If that's what AEW wants to do in MVP, you got to be that heel. You got to find someone to stab Swerve Strickland in the back. I don't think it's going to be Prince. What is it? Yuma? No, not Prince Yuma. Oh God, Prince Puma. No, what's his name? Oh my God, Prince Nana. I don't think it's going to be him. Lio Rush maybe coming out, kind of being by Swerve Strickland's side to be like, hey, brother, I got your back, just in case Shelton Benjamin tries to get involved, and then he finds a way to stab Swerve Strickland in the back, thus joining the Hurt Syndicate. That's the only way I can feel like it's Swerve, because if you have Swerve Strickland lose to Bobby Lashley flat out, straight out, it could prove to be detrimental to Swerve Strickland's push. It could also be proved detrimental for Bobby Lashley's first match. Probably people are going to look at it like if I look at it, I'm like, dude, like why did you have to destroy one of the biggest baby faces in AEW right now? With him being the AEW World Champion, him losing to Bryan Danielson, for him being with Hangman Adam Page, burning down his childhood home, and that he bought for his family. It's just, I don't know. For me, it doesn't make any sense. This is a match that's really honestly got to be done really, really well. Claudio Castagnoli is pretty dominant, defeats Darby Allin, but Darby Allin did not go down without a fight. I felt overall the match was really well for, it went really great for both superstars. Then we had a contract signing with Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship, and I got to be honest, Chris Jericho, he might lose his title, Chris Jericho is such an established superstar within the world of professional wrestling that, it's not going to matter if he has a reign that lasts a week and a half or 5 years. It doesn't really matter. His name is already cemented in greatness in AEW and in WWE. And that's just Chris Jericho. So it wouldn't surprise me, especially with this new partnership with Tony Khan, with AEW, the CMLL, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Professional Wrestling. It wouldn't surprise me if you have Tomohiro Ishii win this championship and, heading toward AEW, not Wrestle Dream, AEW Dynasty? No, it's not Dynasty. Damn it! I think it's, no. We just had Wrestle Dream. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't think of it right now. it's kind of like a forbidden, like a forbidden door kind of match, or kind of PLE. And once when I think about it, I'm probably gonna yell at the top of my lungs and be like, "Oh my God, I knew what!" I'm just kidding. Moving on, with the main event, we have Really Yuta taking on Orange Cassidy. Yuta looks like a dangerous competitor, so they accomplished that. And in the match, they also accomplished Orange Cassidy as a vigilant babyface that's going to try to, put AEW on his back and try to be all he can be, kind of be the superhero. We saw Julia Hart promotion. And, overall, I felt like this, like I said, a 7.5 out of 10, rounding up toward an 8. Overall, I felt like the AEW Dynamite was actually pretty badass. All right, guys, so hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into the world of Ring of Honor and the ring of TNA. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice-cold beverage, and join me here in about, 25 seconds. So, I will see you in a little bit.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. Obviously, we talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain calls. We also talk about rumors. We talk about superstar and active statuses, injury updates, contract statuses. Also, we talk about negotiations, new signings, and also, extensions from promotions from AEW to WWE to Ring of Honor to TNA. So, make sure you guys tune in, like and subscribe to the show, 1,010%. So, let's go ahead and, jump on into it. But before we get on to any of that, I just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up the tips and donations link. Also, hit up that super chat, whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network. We are all ears, 1,010%. We just want to make sure you guys keep coming for this awesome content that's going to keep you coming because, it's absolutely 1,010% free and it's entertaining as hell. So, it's also a great way to make sure that you guys feel like your voice is heard. Whenever talking on a podcast that you see streaming online, don't be shy, drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really, really, really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on air, why not use that super chat? Hit up that $sign right there next to that box. Basically, anything you guys put inside there, it's going to be featured on the show. It's going to be talked about. It could be even be debated about if it's that juicy. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Obviously, we are nowhere without you guys. We obviously appreciate everyone who joins in. Your support makes all the difference. So let's send in, let's keep the party started. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we'll make sure this podcast is, bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat not your thing, it's all good. Go ahead and hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember the Superman punch, the like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. Sometimes some disagreements, also maybe some kind of, also it's inevitable. It's inevitable that, we're going to disagree, and it's all good. That's what makes sports so awesome. So make sure you guys Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. All right, without further ado, let's talk about some Ring of Honor and TNA. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and talk about some good old-fashioned Ring of Honor. which we're going to start off with our Ring of Honor World Television Street Fight with Red Velvet taking on Diamante. This match should be good. This match should be very, very good. I can't wait to see it. Diamante has been, a thorn in the side in terms of, women's champion, not Agatha. Why did I want to say Agatha? Athena. Also, Red Velvet, who has actually represented the television championship ever since defeating Billy Starks. She's done it pretty damn well. And, she's quickly and rapidly became one of my most favorite wrestlers to watch. I watch a lot of highlights, and because, I don't have Honor Club or whatever, or I don't have, TNA Plus. But, you can always check it out on YouTube, like look at some, highlights or top 10s or whatever. And this girl always blows my mind. This girl could definitely find herself on the main roster in terms of, in terms of WWE. Maybe in terms of, AEW. But the fact that, Tony Khan's kind of keeping her right now in Ring of Honor, I feel like the roster, I feel like the promotion, Ring of Honor as a whole, kind of need, they kind of need a woman like that. They need a champion with that much, moxie, with that much, with that attitude, with that confidence. Also a great way to, on the mic, she looks, and, she feels absolutely untouchable. And it, everything in the past, with the wrestling and, her record, and just the way the wrestling universe has kind of warmed up to Red Velvet, I don't disagree with her having the belt on her whatsoever. So obviously Diamante's not no walk in the park, so it should be an interesting match tonight. We have another women's bout. We have Abaddon. Abaddon as well has recently kind of seemed like she's been slipping up. Recently seemed like she has not necessarily, kind of really been ready to kind of gain her way into the women's world, provided that she recently had a title shot. I feel like, she's kind of slipping, and she needs this win. She needs this win for her momentum. And Viva Van too. Viva Van has, I kind of saw Viva Van as as a future superstar in terms of Ring of Honor in the women's division. Now, with all this momentum kind of plummeting, I think both of these girls are fighting for that momentum, and this is going to make for one hell of a gosh darn match, because it's going to be great. I feel like whoever loses this match might as well kiss their career in the ring of professional wrestling goodbye, because, both these girls, this is a must win. This is a must win. And, it would be interesting to kind of find out if Viva Van picks up the victory over Abaddon, the veteran, Soba. I'm all for it. Should be pretty interesting. Josh Woods taking on Commander. Commander, obviously an established luchador. Can't wait to see him get back in action. Can't wait to see him back into the wing call. And then we have Katsuyori Shibata taking on Aaron Solo. Shibata, and honestly, in my opinion, it's 1,010%. I can't wait to see them, I can't wait to see him get back into, to establish Ring of Honor Gold. Shibata, you've seen him on AEW, backing up Hook, being there for, Samoa Joe. And now you kind of have him in this, kind of have him without a storyline ever since this whole thing with, with the whole feud between the Learning Tree and Hook kind of went under. And once when Hook surrendered and ultimately retired the FTW Championship, and then Samoa Joe got written off of television because he's doing filming a television series on Netflix, Twisted Metal, where he plays, I forgot the character's name. Damn it. Sweet Tooth? No, not Sweet Tooth? No, it might be, I don't know. But he's off filming that, which kind of ultimately kind of left Katsuyori Shibata kind of left, on his own there. But against Aaron Solo. So this would be a great match to kind of build up some momentum for maybe like a future title shot in terms of Ring of Honor, maybe TNA, maybe even New Japan Professional Wrestling, heading toward AEW. I think it's Dynasty. It has to be Dynasty. Ah, my God. And once again, drawing a blank. I don't even remember. Next, we have the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, taking on the grizzled young veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson, taking on Dark Order, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, taking on the Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan and Toa Leona tonight. I feel like the Undisputed Kingdom, with everything going on with, Adam Cole and MJF and Roderick Strong, I was ultimately getting the feeling that they were going to stab Adam Cole in the back. But Matt Taven and Mike Bennett has proved to be absolute loyal. The grizzled young veterans are, ready to kind of make that jump into the next level. The Dark Order, the Dark Order's kind of lost its touch a little bit ever since you kind of see, I don't know, you see a lot of tag teams kind of overshadow them a little bit. So right now, I feel like they're kind of, although they picked up, over the past couple of months, I feel like, their winning percentage is at least above, 60%. So that's always good. Gates of Agony, you had, Brian Cage, the Ring of Honor men's television champion. Ultimately, you kind of need to see that, reciprocated within his two buddies. The Gates of Agony will forever kind of be, not like a joke. I don't want to say joke because that sounds kind of mean. Kind of seem like they, what are you without Brian Cage? And, although every single faction has that, where you have one big guy and the other two kind of stay on the standstill where they don't necessarily have a storyline or really a direction in terms of where to go in terms of title pursuit. That's happened in WWE, that's happened in AEW, hell, it even happened in ECW, WCW, TNA as well. So there's always that, but it would be interesting to find out if Gates and Agony could, kind of get their heads out of their butts and, get on the winning track. I'm just kidding, no. Moving on, we have an emergency meet between Athena Billy Starks and Lex in the Air. Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes will be in action. The Righteous Vincent Dutch will also be in action as well. All right, so now we have some TNA Impact. Ultimately, it's going to be, pretty interesting. Should be pretty badass. We have we're gonna have Xia Brookside and Maggie Moore this week on TNA, and overall I feel like it's gonna be pretty badass. TNA Impact, we have the Access preview for November 14th, and that doesn't seem right because we already went through that. Here we go, TNA. Okay, here we go. All right, and as soon as my notes pop up, we can jump on into it. All right, obviously live on TNA Plus. If you guys want to check it out, 1,010%. Let's go and jump on into it. So first and foremost, we're going to have Frankie Kazarian taking on Rhino. Last week we saw Frankie Kazarian was, running his mouth as usual, but the man beast Rhino had heard enough. Rhino has vowed to shut up Frankie for good. Will the self-proclaimed king of TNA fall victim to the gore? Tune in tonight. We also have Jody Threat taking on Ash by Elegance. I hope this doesn't really, have any looming victory obligations if they win. Maybe they find a way into their, into the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team title, because I got to be honest, I love Spitfire. I definitely love what Jody Threat, also Danny Luna have to, kind of have in terms of, stepping into the, the TNA ring. And right now you kind of have, Ash and Heather by Elegance. They're, they're the talk of the town. They are the flavor of the, the week, I guess you can say, per se. But, I don't know. I just love myself some Spitfire. Obviously, in my opinion, 1,010%. Masha Slamovich is looking to build momentum, obviously, at Turning Point TNA. She's got Jordan Grace, the former TNA Knockouts champion, is going to, invoke her rematch clause. And she has, Masha Slamovich takes on Alicia Edwards tonight. Tonight, we have the Hardys and Ace Austin. Obviously, you've seen Chris Bay, after everything went down with his neck injury. Taking on Trent Seven, Jake Something, and Hammerstone. All these matches can be seen, can be watched at TNA Plus, so make sure you guys tune into that. Should be pretty awesome. Also tune into Honor Club, and make sure you come in tomorrow with some questions, ready to talk about the results. All right, guys, so do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our third segment. We got some AEW Full Gear predictions, so grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 20 seconds. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan, I'm your favorite professional wrestling fan, Eric Rodriguez here, with all your wrestling know-how. Find out all your, breaking news in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring. Also find out superstar news, injury updates, inactive statuses. Also, we talk about basically everything, like from professional wrestling to the CMLL to WWE. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1,010%. So make sure you guys, tune in. All right, guys, we're going to talk about some AEW Full Gear predictions. I got my notes right here, and it's going to jump on into it. First and foremost, Full Gear has been one of the most, original events in terms of AEW, and Saturday, November 23rd, the main card starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and, it kind of sucks, but ultimately, it is what it is. It's not going to be aired on HBO Max or whatever, so we're going to have to pay for it, which, by all means, I was kind of like, but... you can, Thriller TV and Bleacher Report, YouTube, you guys can find it for like $50. It's not too expensive. It's not too bad whatsoever in terms, because I remember, growing up, I remember when I was younger, paying like $70, $80 for freaking the Royal Rumble, and I was like, I think it was in 2008. I paid for the Royal Rumble, and I was excited. I thought Triple H was going to win, and then John Cena had to come out at number 30, and I was like, oh my God, no way. I should have just, I used my allowance on that. I remember that. Yeah, I should have just waited to find out the results. If I knew John Cena was just going to win, which all he does in WWE back in my time growing up, he was like, he had the best winning percentage in terms of professional wrestling. But I guess in all the professional wrestling in WWE as a whole, I think I read this in an article that Bret Hart won the most matches. He has the best winning percentage of any WWE, WWF superstar in all of history. So, it's kind of crazy. I thought it was John Cena for sure. All right, guys. So let's go and start off. We're going to start off with the pre-match, the pre-show. It's QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ is going to fight. I know, obviously, I'm not really too fond of those guys. What's going on with Mariah May? Why is she having a champagne celebration with Mina Shirakawa at the pay-per-view? I don't really, recently Toni Storm she retired from TNA, according to Tony Khan. After her time in AEW, she hasn't been seen since losing against the Glamour Mariah May at AEW. I think it was not Wrestle Dream. It wasn't Wrestle Dream. Was it Double? No, it wasn't Double or Nothing. I'm not too sure. All In or All Out? All In or All Out? One of those. You haven't really seen timeless Toni Storm. And I love myself some Mariah May. She's cool and all, but it just, the AEW Women's Championship doesn't really have that much of a bang anymore. It doesn't really have that much of a, in-your-face style that Toni Storm ultimately had whenever she came out in the ring, kind of representing that title. So for me, I kind of miss Toni Storm, being honest. Although, Mariah May's cool. Mina Shirakawa, obviously impressive. We're going to have a champagne celebration. Maybe Mina Shirakawa finds her way, attacking Mariah May, kind of starting this babyface run. Maybe that could be a possibility for her. And, Mariah May right now, she's kind of left in AEW, not really having any close friends. But then again, not really kind of having, any say-so in terms of, who her next faction's going to be, if she even has a faction. But right now, you have Dr. Britt Baker, she continues to be impressive. She was supposed to get the number one contendership. Obviously, she got hurt. Then it was taken place by the new member for the CMLL World Women's Champion, Willow Nightingale. But now you just, for me, I feel like Mariah May, right now, it's not really working out. It's not really working out. Are we going to see Hook take on Christian Cage? Hook, obviously, in pursuit of avenging what Christian Cage did to his father, Taz, the ECW legend. Obviously, I feel like this is just going to promote more harm than good instead of it happening, because the patriarchy right now and Hook it's all by himself. Like, you haven't really seen his buddies, Katsuyori Shibata or Samoa Joe, kind of by his side. Samoa Joe's been out for such a long time. It's kind of frank that I bring his name up. But, Hook, ever since he retired the FTW Championship, he's not really relevant anymore. And it sucks right now. He kind of has this storyline with Nick Wayne, Kip Sabian, Christian Cage, and But, I just want to see something better for Hook. There's been a lot of speculation when Hook's contract is up in AEW, he's going to wind up in WWE. I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever. I feel like will forever kind of be on AEW. Obviously, that's where his dad is. And, I just want to see something more for Hook. But then, obviously, that's just, that's just me. That's just me. All right, we have Will Ospreay taking on Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher is not like Will Ospreay. He did so, trying to convince fans so hard that he shaved his own head, which was interesting, but yeah, funny as hell. But at the same time, it's kind of like, really, dude? Like, is this all you got? Going up against a legend like Will Ospreay. So definitely, I feel like 1,010% we're going to get a win by Will Ospreay. Or maybe this is a way to kind of put Kyle Fletcher over, to kind of ultimately have the Don Callis family look a little bit more intricate, to look a little more innovative, the successful, dominant, kind of a little, astounding effort, because for the longest time, like I said, the Don Callis family, ever since you kind of have Will Ospreay kind of go out on his own after being signed to AEW, he kind of went out on his own, he didn't, kind of dropped them like a bad habit. And, they didn't look good. They didn't look good whatsoever. And then, the Don Callis family, they got Roosh, and they got the Beast Mortos, and then they got people like, Brian Cage. They also got Lance Archer, and now, now they have Kyle Fletcher, and, Konosuke Takeshita. And it's just, so it's all kind of seemed like it's kind of, coming together piece by piece. So for me, I feel like this match, if Will wins, it's another win under Will's belt. And I feel like it would kind of kill the momentum of Kyle Fletcher, try to establish his own singles, career going on. So for me, I'm definitely would love to put the win on Kyle Fletcher there. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman takes on Roderick Strong one-on-one. It is not a triple threat match because Adam Cole did not defeat Konosuke Takeshita, which kind of sucks. Like, people want to see Adam Cole take on MJF more than Roderick Strong taking on MJF, which by all means, like, I understand why the AEW kind of ultimately kind of left it open, kind of left the possibility of, a possible, like a possible turn, possibly that could be done by, Roderick Strong. Also, Konosuke Takeshita as well. So it should be, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So overall, I feel like AEW Full Gear is, it's decent. It's going to be a great, overall, it's going to be a great promo. It's going to be a great pay-per-view, 1,010%. So, make sure you guys tune in. All right, we have Jack Perry taking on Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship. For me, I can't wait to see Jack Perry lose. I've always kind of, hated Jack Perry, but, got to throw him his flowers. I definitely got to throw him his flowers 1,010%, because the way the scapegoat has been ever since this whole, Elite storyline with, Matthew Nicholas Jackson. Also, you had New Japan Professional Wrestling, Kazuchika Okada come in and win the AEW Continental Championship from New Japan Professional Wrestling. And, ever since he kind of came in, I don't know. I just feel like he's kind of been the outliner, kind of been the only one kind of willing to shine in terms of, in terms of the faction, in terms of the group. So, if he wins, cool. But right now, Daniel Garcia has been, it's been crazy. And, credit to Jack Perry. His title run, his reign has been solidified. He's been solidified as a true competitor by his everyone he's defeated with the Blood and Guts, also the Anarchy in the Arena, also the singles bouts. He has, by all means, solidified his name as a solid, champion. So it wouldn't be surprising. And right now, Daniel Garcia is so over with the fans right now. It's absolutely crazy. He's super over. I feel like right now, he recently signed with AEW, could have signed with WWE. Didn't really happen. He stayed true to AEW, and ultimately it was pretty cool. Hangman Adam Page taking on Switchblade Jay White. Jay White right now is 4-1 against the Hangman. At this match, I think Hangman's got to win this one. And he's going to. I feel like he's going to win this one. Obviously, you kind of have to start to have things, kind of even up a little bit. And, wouldn't surprise me if you see Hangman, hang up a win tonight or on Saturday against, the Bang Bang Gang leader, Jay Switchblade. Also, we have Mercedes Moné defending her AEW TBS Championship against Kris Statlander. Kris Statlander is the first and only person to defeat Jade Cargill. She's had, some history with TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné needs to lose a title. I'm sorry. It's about time. This the whole double championship thing. It's working and it's not really working. Like, she was on Dynamite and she got, she's a heel, which is good, but she was, got told to shut the F up. They were chanting it over and over again. Obviously, when she signed AEW, I didn't really think that she thought the fans were going to kind of take this, overall kind of beating in terms of verbal abuse here. But overall, Mercedes Moné, she's a formidable champion. She's been great, absolutely phenomenal. She's one of the most, decorated talents in terms of professional wrestling from WWE, to Ring of Honor, to New Japan Professional Wrestling, to right now in AEW. Whatever she's done in the past has been glorious. It's been great. And her going up against Kris Statlander, I want to see more for Kris. I feel like she's going to be, a star, and it'll be interesting to see if Mercedes Moné drops her title. Next, we have Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii. Once again, the signing was a little bit bonk, but I feel like these two will ultimately fight at AEW Full Gear with Tomohiro Ishii coming out the victor. Swerve Strickland going up against Lashley. The Hurt Syndicate obviously are going to stand by ringside, and if Swerve loses, which most likely he will. And I was talking about, in our first segment about AEW Dynamite, how the AEW has to be really careful of not killing Swerve Strickland's momentum. We don't want it to see plummet. We don't want to see his stock plummet. But, it's possible that we could have this happen. Maybe the interference, maybe somewhere, like I said, maybe Leo Rush comes out to, tell Swerve Strickland to be like, hey, if the numbers game catches up on you, guess what? I got your back. And then Leo Rush to kind of be in the sweet graces of MVP kind of helps the Swerve lose. And then, of course, we have the main event, Jon Moxley taking on Orange Cassidy for the AEW World Championship. After the brutal assault on Bryan Danielson at AEW All Out, Moxley and company are just assaulting everyone. They're running their will. They continue their dominance on AEW, and I feel like right now, honestly, I feel like it's going to keep going. I don't really see any reason why to stop this momentum by Jon Moxley. But I think Orange Cassidy is going to have a nice, little run. But overall, should be pretty interesting. All right, guys, so hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our next segment. We have our WWE Women's Speed #1 contendership. We have a tournament coming up next week on X, or Twitter, however you guys like to call it, to find out who's going to take on Candice LeRae for the WWE Women's Speed Championship. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest and the hottest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring. Backstage curtain calls, we talk about rumors and drama in terms of the world of professional wrestling. We talk about superstar inactive statuses, injury updates. We also talk about promotions. We talk about contract extensions. We talk about, firings and all that in terms of the world of WWE, AEW, New Japan Professional Wrestling, Ring of Honor, TNA, the GCW, New Japan if it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show, so remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. All right, so next Wednesday, we're going to find out who's going to challenge Candice LeRae to become the #1 contender for the WWE Women's Speed Championship, and it all starts out with Zelina Vega taking on Chelsea Green. This match is going to be great. Right now, I feel like Zelina Vega, and, you have that lingering WWE Intercontinental Championship, that Women's Intercontinental Championship has not been unveiled yet, but it will, because you looked at on WWE Friday Night SmackDown, you looked at the competition that the United States Women's Championship has, and you did not see any Monday Night Raw girls featured in the tournament. So it's it only makes sense for them to to kind of have the title being unveiled on Monday Night Raw. But as of right now, I feel like Chelsea Green is kind of, for me, she's a hot topic. She's definitely, she has everything what it takes. She has, she has the promoting ability. She has the, the mic skills. She has the, the in-ring capabilities. She has her, her right hand woman, Piper Niven, to kind of help her out. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see Chelsea Green lose it. It would be, mostly fitting to see Zelina Vega kind of move on, kind of going on to that, that speed kind of aspect that WWE ultimately wants to promote during these episodes on X. And next we have Natalya taking on B-Fab. It has been reported by WWE that people were really, really impressed by what B-Fab showed on Friday Night SmackDown against Bayley, also against... oh, God, who was that other chick? I can't remember right now. It was Bayley, it was B-Fab, and it was also not Piper Niven. It wasn't Piper Niven. It was not. I can't think of it right now. But they're impressed. They're impressed. And to be honest, when I saw her coming out, for me, I was kind of like... I kind of thought to myself, I was like, why? Like, why is she competing? She usually just stands side by side by the Street Profits, really not really having anything to kind of contribute to the gang besides kind of being like a manager kind of experience there. But she shocked the hell out of me too, and she's young. She looks very, very young. It's crazy. It wouldn't surprise me that WWE saw something special within her match, and maybe you're going to kind of have her, build on that momentum for her to be a future star. She might not defeat Candice LeRae. Maybe she makes it to the semifinals, maybe even the finals. But if it's her in the finals against Candice LeRae, if she loses that match, overall she's going to be a winner. One of those predicaments when even when you lose, you win, because overall you're able to kind of showcase your talent. You're able to show WWE that, hey, you know what? If you want to put the strap on me in a little bit, hey, guess what? That's all good, because I can prove myself inside the ring. I could definitely, kind of hold my own in terms of, matches and stuff like that. So, I think B-Fab has a future in WWE. Next, we have Katana Chance taking on one half of the Unholy Union, Alba Fire. Katana Chance, I saw her in that Over the Top Rope women's match to determine the #1 contender for Liv Morgan's Women's World Heavyweight Championship. And I got to be honest, I was impressed. I was very impressed. I thought she was, she did that Kofi Kingston elimination where she did a handstand and she walked onto the ring. I thought that was pretty badass. Alba Fire, obviously huge in terms of... definitely in terms of the women's tag team division. So I don't really see her moving on. I feel like right now, it has to be Chance. I feel like it has to be Katana Chance. Although Katana Chance, with Kaden Carter, she's in the tag team division too. But I feel like overall, it's more of an impressive look. Unless, I'm not too sure, but I would pick her to kind of win. But I feel like Alba Fire might get the victory there. Michin takes on, Michin takes on Ivy Nile. Alba Fire, Ivy Nile. Kind of rhymes there. Sorry, excuse me. This is going to be good. I don't think... I feel like if Alba Fire wins, then you'll see Michin wins. I feel like if Katana Chance wins, then you're going to see Ivy Nile wins. You're going to constantly have that babyface versus the heel. So it wouldn't surprise me if you would see somebody like, Zelina Vega going up against B-Fab. It's not really like a heel babyface. For that would be kind of like a face versus face, and it would be, it'd be glorious. It'd be kind of cool to kind of see. But, on the second tier of the tournament, you have, it could be Alba Fire taking on Michin, or vice versa. It could be Ivy Nile, taking on Katana Chance. But overall, I would like to see Katana Chance taking on Michin. That'd be ideal, but we all know that's not going to happen. In the, moving on, I feel like in the semifinals, you can see, I don't know how hot WWE has been in terms of, promoting BFAB, but, her performance inside the ring on Friday Night SmackDown was absolutely unfathomable. It was uncanny, and it was actually pretty badass to watch. So BFAB could definitely go up against somebody like Kitana Chance, where, right now the champion is a heel, Candice LeRae. Being brutally honest, I feel like they should not take the championship away from Candice LeRae, because right now, the way she's kind of doing it, the way she's aligning herself with Nia Jax, being champion, and obviously not like Tiffany Stratton, kind of promoting, Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton breaking up, Stratton cashing in on the WWE Women's Champion pretty soon. So, it would make no sense for me to have Candice LeRae drop the championship, but it would make sense to me for BFAB to take her on. And like I said, if BFAB loses, once again, at the end of the day, she, if she loses, she kind of wins. So, overall, I feel like that would be, the right spot. All right, guys, so hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to end this Thursday night wrestling podcast on some CMLL, also the DPW. They had, some PLEs that happened over the weekend. We're going to talk about the results when we come back. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So hey, do not go anywhere. All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network. Talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage, curtain calls, rumor, and drama. We talk about superstar inactive statuses and injury updates. We also talk about a lot of professional wrestling. We talk about every promotion from AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor to WWE. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, make sure you guys tune in, like and subscribe to the show so you guys can get some notifications to find out when we go live. Especially if you're a huge wrestling fan, this is a nice place to start. All right, just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our AEW Dynamite review. Then we had my Thursday Night Wrestling preview. We talked about Ring of Honor and also TNA Impact. And then we talked about AEW Full Gear. It's going to be live November 23rd, Saturday. Make sure you guys tune in on pay-per-view. And then we just got done talking about the WWE Women's Speed #1 contender. We're going to find out who's going to take on Candice LeRae to maybe dethrone her, maybe not. And now, without further ado, we're going to talk about our fifth and final segment, some CMLL, also some DPW, results. All right, so we're going to, talk about the Deathlock Professional Wrestling first. Obviously, we had our world's strongest results that happened November 17th. And let's go ahead and go and talk about it. Overall, I felt like it was I watched highlights. Like, once again, I'm busy schedule, busy man over here. I'm a full-time father, full-time husband, and a full-time worker. So sometimes it's, it could be a little hard watching professional wrestling all the time. Although it is, it's a nice little delight whenever I have a chance to kind of crack open a cold one, and enjoy some professional wrestling. But overall, we had Junie Underwood defeat TJ Crawford in the pre-show. We saw BK Westbrook and Andrew Everett defeat Thomas Shire and one called Manders in a tag team match. We had LeBron Cazone defeat Jackson Drake in a singles match. Danny Luna defeated Danny B in singles competition. The Beast Mortos from Ring of Honor AEW defeated Ray Horse and Arez in a triple threat match. Kushida defeated Adam Priest, the champion, via disqualification in a deadlock professional wrestling championship match. Speedball Mike Bailey, who recently left TNA, defeated Titus Alexander in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And just to kind of reiterate, it kind of sucks that Speedball Mike Bailey left TNA. I got to be honest. I feel like overall that was a huge drop. Speedball Mike Bailey has been absolutely worldwide professional wrestling phenomenon in Stardom, New Japan Professional Wrestling, Ring of Honor. There's so many other wrestling promotions that this guy touched base in. This guy's literally like the Mr. Miyagi of professional wrestling. It's kind of crazy, and it kind of sucks to see him walk away from TNA. But overall, if he finds his way to Tony Khan's promotion, All Elite Wrestling, I'll root for him. Obviously, would love to see him on AEW Dynamite every Wednesday, Rampage on Friday, and Saturday night's Collision on TBS. So would be pretty badass to kind of see him. Jake Something, the champion, defeated Donovan Dijak to retain his deadlock professional wrestling. Dijak obviously kind of got done dirty by WWE. Recently, during the draft back in April, or was it March? I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. He was drafted to Monday Night Raw. They gave him the fancy little hat and everything. They're like, "Hey, welcome to the big leagues, son. Welcome, you young little chap, you." And then kind of threw him under the bus. Never really got a match. And I was like, "Hey, dude, guess what? Yeah, dude, we're dropping your ass, man. Guess you're not in WWE anymore." And it was kind of like a huge shock. Dijak took to social media and was obviously super frustrated that WWE basically could shove it. Which it's always tough. Like we kind of talked about earlier in the podcast. The professional wrestling industry is. It's a cutthroat industry. It's a cutthroat industry. Obviously, you don't really want to establish your name or kind of be that person to kind of be on someone to kind of step on their toes. Although something maybe must have happened within WWE creative in the back. Dijak was he was drafted by Monday Night Raw. I was looking forward to see what he ultimately had to had to prove. I would love to see him going against Gunther. I would love to see him have a feud with Damian Priest. It would have been pretty cool. Maybe him going up against Bronson Reed or Seth Rollins would have been badass as well. So kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, moving on to the CMLL. We had Lunes Classico. And I'm going to botch this. Oh my god, I'm terrible with pronunciations. Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre held a special event, Lunes Classico, from the Arena Puebla in Puebla, Mexico. I kind of like that. Was kind of funny. On their YouTube channel, it was absolutely free. They were trying to celebrate El Dia de la Revolucion Mexicana, which is basically like the Mexican Revolution, which is, once again, by all means, to be celebrated. That's super badass. That's cool. Stay strong to your heritage, people. Ethnicities, obviously, diversity in the world of professional wrestling, or just the world in general in the United States, is definitely something we've been yearning for. There's too many white people. I'm just moving on. This is not a political podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is about professional wrestling. Millennium and Black Tiger defeated Hijo del Perverso and Renser. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, we saw Hijo de Pantera and Captain Suicida. I know the I in in Espanol was like a E. Defeated Los Compadres del Diablo. We also saw Copa Mujeres Revolucionarias in 2024. We saw Persephone defeat India Sux. We saw Tess defeated Tessa Blanchard. Also La Catalina Scada Kira, Reina Isis Zuxes, Olympia, and Ojeda. With the bridging German suplex. Out of a 2 out of 3 falls match, we saw Los Guerreros Luganeros defeat Mexico. Templero, also Stigma. We also saw the CMLL World Trios Championship match lead off in the main event. We saw Los Infernales defeat Los Depredadores. Hopefully I said that right. Hopefully I'm not offending anybody by any chance. I'm a white guy with a lazy tongue. What do you want me to do? I'm just gonna moving on. And then we have the CMLO Domingo Familiar in Mexico City, Distrito Federal in Mexico. We saw Inquisidor and Sangre Imperio defeat Astra, also Diamond. We had 2 out of 3 falls match. We saw Crixus and Creo and El Sagrado defeat Los Dulce Antrape Sueños. In a match, Relamp Pago, we had Princess Suegue defeat Dordik Salueta. And then in a 2 out of 3, damn, it seems like the CMLL loves their 2 out of 3 falls match, which is actually pretty cool. I like that. Definitely gotta love match stipulations in terms of international wrestling promotions out there. So I definitely love that. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, we saw Brillante Jr., Fuego, and Volcano defeat Rey Brancenero and also Los Felicianos. And out of a 2 out of 3 falls match, once again, we saw Los Depredadores defeat Fleet Gordon, Hijo de Octagon, and also Titan. 2 out of 3 falls match, once again, we had Octagon, Valador Jr., and Templavo defeat Los Infernales. And, in the main event, we have Hechicero, Atlantis Jr., and Mascara Dorado, who will be obviously a part of AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. So make sure you stay into that. Also, an update on Mexican Lucha Libre El Hijo de Mexico, who was pulled from upcoming shows due to his ACL, MCL injury that happened on AEW during a taping, which was an absolute gruesome injury, guys. I would say go ahead and check it out on YouTube, but you might want to skip that because it's it's not for the faint of heart. But, hopefully everything's good. Obviously, blessings to his family, condolences to him. And hopefully he makes a, fast, quick, rapid recovery so we can see him doing what he does best inside the squared circle, kicking ass, taking names, and, performing awesome Lucha Libre moves. All right, guys. It was interesting to try to get through that without, destroying my credibility in terms of my ethnicity. Eric Rodriguez, who doesn't speak Spanish. But by all means, definitely I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to follow us on Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. Once again, Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. So make sure you guys, follow the show. Once again, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, if you're a National Football League fan, we have, 2 football podcasts. We have the GSMC Football Podcast with Kenneth and the Chip Shot Football Podcast with my boy Manny. And we also have college football with Tommy. And, all around football, there's obviously a lot of fantasy sports. Find out how to become the WWE champion in your league by watching Chris Shepard's GSMC Fantasy Sports podcast that you can catch live on the GSMC Sports Network. Make sure you guys tune into that. We have All Around Sports with Jeremy, with Sports by GSMC. We also have the GSMC Sports podcast hosted by Nelson. And coming up in 26 minutes, you guys could listen to Emran hosting the always awesome Deadball podcast. Find out his hot takes in terms of Thursday Night Football. Find out all the know-how, maybe something you guys missed watching Thursday Night Football. It was a blizzard. It was an interesting match between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. Find out basically everything you guys need to know what happened on Thursday Night Football, only on Prime Video, only on the Deadball podcast on the GSMC Sports Network. So make sure you guys, tune into that. I'm your favorite wrestling fan, logging out, saying goodbye, bidding you guys farewell. Hope you guys had a beautiful Wednesday. Hope you guys are gearing up toward an amazing Thursday. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Stay beautiful. And, of course, love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow. Feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit. And the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great.